Welcome, everyone, to the Onward VR Master League. I am your host, Monorchid, and I'm joined today by my co-caster, Etch.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, Etch, how's it going? We're excited to be bringing you this Ronin versus KOVRA matchup in Season 11, Week 9. Should be a great matchup between these two teams, two international teams, that is. We got almost a little grudge match between the Japanese and Korean communities. This should be a pretty interesting one. What do you think, Etch?
Absolutely. Both teams are coming from Asia. They do compete in the North America division as the Asia or Oceania/Asia division is still growing. But yeah, Ronin is an almost all Japanese squad, if not all Japanese squad, according to their profiles and bios. And many of them were formerly part of OJC, which we're all familiar with for the past couple seasons. They just formed recently. And KOVRA are one of the two Korean teams that are now in our league. So excited to see VRML grow and branch out to new communities.
Can't agree with you more. It's really fun to see these different teams, different communities, and what I ultimately think will be different kind of play styles coming from these international teams that really shake up the league. And being in the North America division, like you said, we're going to be able to play against them. Players like us in the America League should be a lot of fun. And I'm really excited to see what these two teams bring to this matchup coming up here. Speaking of this matchup, let's go ahead and go over the bans. What do we got?
So we've got the home team, which is Ronin, banning Sand, and KOVRA, the away team, banning Downfall.
Pretty interesting set of bans. Pretty much polar opposites, don't you think?
Yeah, that's for sure. And Sand again is a map that I think both of them are maps you're good at or you hate. I think they're kind of there are no middle grounds. You have to know them. You have to know them well, and you've got to want to play them. So if you don't want to play them, you ban it away.
Definitely seen that quite a bit in Season 11 and other seasons as well. They're just crazy maps. You got to really put a lot of practice and time and effort in if you want to be good at them for different reasons. And these two teams banning it just kind of brings it off the docket, as it were. And instead, we'll be doing some of the other maps on offer today. And the first one actually being Quarantine, which is kind of a crazy pick in itself.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think the past 2 weeks, I would say, we've been seeing a lot of Quarantine. And I'm not sure what's caused that shift. Maybe it's teams noticing that Quarantine isn't being picked and saying, hey, let's pick it and let's feel good at it. Because I think a lot of the league is uncomfortable with Quarantine because of the complexity, right? It did change, went through drastic changes, and people are probably not familiar with all the parts of Quarantine that now exist. But we have been seeing it a lot, I think, the past 2 weeks, which is interesting. So I'm curious to see how these teams play. Maybe we'll see some objectives we haven't seen yet. Who knows?
It's kind of interesting to get good at a map that you know others won't be good at. I think of Sand and Downfall are great examples of this. And if you get good at it, so good that people notice, they'll feel compelled to ban it against you, which gets rid of their ban choice. Maybe allows you to play a map that you actually really wanted to play, but making them ban for weakness can be a very powerful strategy.
For sure. And from the past couple Quarantine matches, I would say that objective, the variation objectives totally changes the way the battlefield ends up, and the variation spawns as well shapes up how the game flow is gonna go. But despite being a big map, this is definitely not a Volk-sided map, I think. We've seen a lot of caps recently. We've seen a lot of Marsoc wins. So I expect to see some real good back and forth of different kinds of plays happening in this map.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong there. Let's go over the teams really quick here. We got for Ronin, Black, Chevy 1960, Kogero, Nanachi, Nep, Pon JP, Player 2, and Ryota Japan, or JPN, if I were to be totally correct there. And then for KOVRA, we have Yune, sorry if I say that wrong, Bronx Guy Korea, Jason Korea, KOVRA number 3, Battle Rose, Kabong, Chachinobi, and Gamery. Oh, sorry about that one, buddy. I tried my best.
Yeah, I think we're gonna need chat's help on some of these pronunciations here today. Give us your thoughts, chat.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's just kind of how it goes sometimes when you're casting these international teams. But you know, the gameplay is super interesting. Seeing these two teams duke it out, super interesting. So well worth it. I'm glad that we were able to pick it up. Kind of an interesting start time too. 7 is PST is a very interesting and kind of late start time, but no time for that as we are about to jump into round 1 here, starting with the kind of the gas station objective. An oldie but a goodie.
Yep, gas station objective, and Marsoc will be spawning in the north. Early morning for both these teams. Spry and Ready, they're out it. We see a hard push coming west from the Marsoc team, it looks like.
You get a little bit of this Overwatch going, a very strong push, as you said, going west, but being kind of cautious there, just kind of sticking back, trying to get those picks before the match even starts, maybe catch those players doing any kind of far rotation going to the east, but not really going to get that there as this defensive team choosing to take a pretty defensive line, just getting into their positions and holding, waiting for the offense to come into their kill box.
For sure. And speaking of the defense, the setup is quite interesting. We've got a lot of what I'd say are meta positions now. We've got the hospital staircase looking southeast. We've got the dark Hescos in the west corner looking east, center burning. So definitely a meta defense that we're seeing shape up here, and a pretty good setup, I think.
Think so. We'll just have to wait and see what Ronan's able to do. Nanachi getting a nice pickup right away on the Battle Rose there. Very slick shot into the gas station, it looks like.
Yeah, and one of the west defenders goes down, and right now there's 3 defenders east of objective, 1 west of objective. So Une has to be pretty cautious here. If they lose Une, they lose the entire western front of the defenders, but that doesn't mean they can't swing to look there. For example, Chachinobi can easily swing and is looking west already.
I like Bronx's position, just sitting between these yellow kind of fuel containers here, able to get some picks from there and then pull back, maybe catch people off guard there as well. And you can see he has a good laser just facing towards the last known position of Nanachi was firing from that crash building second story. Very powerful and hard to take out, as it's just so hard to see them. They can take such heavy cover behind the rubble.
Yeah, Chachinobi gets spotted on the hospital rooftop, and they know that they're there now. They don't know Bronx. Bronx guy is there, and like you were saying, it's a good position, looking towards the brunt of this attack.
Just narrowly misses Rayota's movement. But as Rayota is coming up, starting his peak, his elbow is showing. Bronx, his laser on target, but Rayota, and an excellent pickup, able to get the first shot off.
Yeah, I think Rayota benefited there from peeking on the right side there, just seeing enough of Bronx guy.
Ooh.
And the KOVRA, meanwhile, picks up 1 in center, shutting that down. So the remainder of the attack is all west.
Pretty interesting. Like you said, Black is going to have to do some work here, or maybe Nanachi on a Yune, who's quickly becoming enveloped in. Yeah, he's kind of an island onto himself here, and his position is about to get called by Nanachi here as he moves forward. Really close.
Nanachi has an easy kill here. There it is.
Oh man. Hasn't confirmed his kill yet.
KOVRA number 3. So now it's left up to Chachinobi and... Where's the last defender? Just Chachinobi? Just
maybe
Chachinobi.
A drop. We had a drop from KOVRA. KOVRA down to the 1, even just ignoring what it says on the top there. Is it's just Chachinobi. a decent position to watch objective, but also with the right setup from Ronin. As KOVRA moves towards the objective, Chachinori barely able to stop him there, just doing his best to hold back this attacking wave from Ronin. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, 3 attackers left, 1 on objective downed. This could be a cap if Ronin play this correctly. They can tuck it on that west side, get a cap, or smoke and tuck it on the east side before Chachinobi can rotate.
Chachinobi really doesn't have a choice. He really can't rotate. If he does, he could risk getting a cap or get capped on from Nanachi.
He's got to get eyes on Nanachi here.
Nanachi's moving up. His tablet is now Chachinobi, very much distracted by the suppressing fire from Black. Nanachi doing his best to get this cap off and gets it off before Chachinobi able to get vision on him.
Yeah, good play by Ronin there to have a good kill count, isolate the last defender, and just throw bodies at the objective. You know, forget killing the defender for 15, 30 seconds. You've got the numbers, you can take the risk, and they walk away with 2 points.
Works very well for them there. Sorry about the kind of messed up instant replay. Shows just a little weird there, maybe a little scaling issue, but no big deal as the main video is visible. With catching that excellent cap from Nanachi, knowing that at any point he could get shot sitting there in the open, but knowing what a cap could mean for his team, and 2 points on the board. It's round 1. That has to be tough for KOVRA. Definitely reeling from such a play and gonna have to do a lot to come back here as they're already down 2 points. Ronin only needs 2 more to take this map.
Yeah, KOVRA would, I think, a decently good setup to start off with, but they just didn't get the picks they needed. They didn't land their shots. They didn't capitalize on any intel they were getting. Meanwhile, Ronin played it perfectly. They isolated the defenders they knew of, hit their shots, had good movement, and good coordination at the end to take it. So, very good plays by them. Let's see what KOVRA can do on offense.
Definitely so. I really liked Ronin's suppressive fire distraction kind of strategy, knowing that the cap was probably going to come from their team and doing their utmost to support that push. KOVRA, and I mean, a very commendable job too, trying to defend that last or that objective as the last man up and in a spot where you can't rotate, otherwise you're going to get capped on as well. Admirable last defense and good trigger discipline from Ronin to not actually shoot him, just distract him enough for that cap to come out.
Well, for sure. Tough position to be in as last one up on that objective that has 2 sides that are cappable, but Ronin just walked right up to it and capped because of how much distraction there really was. Not much you could do.
Definitely the case here. And looks like we're about to jump into round 2. These teams ready to go. All 5 players on both teams are present. We'll have to see what KOVRA does to answer back.
Yeah, KOVRA on offense are going to have the long spawn, so they'll have quite a bit of ways to get to objective, but this does allow them to kind of spread south and north, which might work out, might not, depends on how you decide to play it, but definitely not the same spawn.
Or errant magazine left behind by the attacking team, totally replaced by the drum, and
started away.
Yeah,
forgotten.
He's just not important anymore. KOVRA here going for a quick cross on the south lane here. Laser was pointing at it just before, but they're not going to actually catch his rotation there as the defenders all pulled back into more defensible, tucked-in positions.
So on the defensive side, we've actually got a very similar setup, almost identical, except for instead of Bronx guy's position, we have someone at the Volk garage. So the other 4 are practically identical, except now, as I say that, one is moving away.
He's just running forward.
I wonder how this setup will pay out for them.
Black here in the hospital second story in a great position to possibly catch some peaks coming from these southeast attackers in KOVRA and Yune. KOVRA doing a great job of not peeking its head over that ridge and exposing himself to like a Black. Oh. Black holding steady, though, able to get that pickup on Yune as he came around the corner there. KOVRA, though, quickly getting a frag of his own onto Battle Roads with his trusty SKS.
Nice one.
And quickly we're into a 5v3. It could become a 5v2 if KOVRA number 3 decides to challenge this, because Black is still looking here. Black hasn't seen him yet. Now I think maybe he has.
No.
This is tough.
It's hard, though. I mean, he's behind that hill, and KOVRA will have to make a real effort to peek above the bill and show himself. And it looks like that now's
now
the time. Trying to get that repick onto Black and nearly surviving with his life there. Ryota able to get Bronx guy as he comes up the burning second story, trying to challenge Ryota, and gets a knife for his troubles.
Yeah, Black and KOVRA number 3 still exchanging shots, but I think number 3 is gonna rotate off, knowing how hard that's gonna be to challenge.
Definitely. So you definitely gotta rotate when the attack isn't working. Try something new. Give it your best shot in a different location. And Chacha putting some rounds down range towards Ryota, but not able to connect. And unfortunately for him, will let Ronan know where his position is.
Yeah, with the 5 up, they've got to have a good count. Chacha has to get some picks here. I think if they can clear center, that opens some of the map over to them.
There actually was an opportunity, and as I say that, we got a cross going towards the hospital here. Black not in a position to actually catch this cross. KOVRA, crossing in his blind side, but still going to be a tough order for KOVRA, as he has a lot to contend with on that approach.
Number 3 does have a little sneak angle here to objective. If he makes no noise, he can just work right up the front of hospital, possibly avoid Chevy. That's the question mark, and get on objective. There is an angle here.
The only problem is he doesn't know that. He doesn't have our eyes in the sky. But
yeah,
when you're the second to last man up, that the defending team probably hasn't lost anybody, or maybe a trade or two. Sometimes you really got to go for those risky plays. Try and put everything on the line there. And speaking of that, Chachanova able to get Ryota.
Oh, and Chevy takes care of number 3. Oh man, another 20 seconds of Chevy being distracted, and that would have worked. But yeah, that center pick was pretty crucial. But with only one attacker left, I don't know what. It's gonna be tough to make any sort of pinch here.
Yeah, this is a tough angle to come from. This is where the bulk of the defenders are currently residing. KOVRA escaping narrowly with his life. Chachinobi doing his best to reduce the enemy team's number, but not able to connect with him. And if KOVRA just holds back, plays it steady and slow, cautious, let Chachinobi make the moves, it's going to be really tough for him to make this work.
Yeah, KOVRA and Chevy have boxed him in here. Chevy's doing some rotations to get a better angle. They've got a minute to hold here. Lasers are dialing in. Chachinobi tries to find KOVRA, but KOVRA, SKS, shots to deal the blow.
What an interesting round there. Unfortunate for KOVRA there. They had a lot of those kind of CQB clearing actions. I'm thinking like burning second story, trying to get that pick on the Black, all those kind of opportunities, those almost neutral angles where they're trying to get those picks, trying to create an opening and open up an opportunity for a play, but just not quite able to fully commit on that and get the trades in their favor.
Yeah, for sure. And from Ronan, I have to say, I'm seeing really good rotations and repositioning from them. They, once they knew the spawn, they kind of shifted their defense a little bit. Not too much, just a little bit to adjust for that. And they were able to shut down different angles, and just win their fights that they were responsible for. So, good defense from Ronan.
Definitely true. And going into this next round, 3 points up. Obviously feeling good, and we'll just have to see what they can do on one of these newer objectives, this far west objective, and see what they can do on this one. It's kind of an interesting one. I think you've played this one more than I have. Do you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, this one, so the typical defensive setups for this are outside facing inwards, because you've got some big crosses the offense has to make to get in there, whether it's from the west of impact building, sort of Sandy Hill area, or south, like in front of gas station, wide open expanses that the offense has to cross through. So if you've got cross lines that are defending the extremities of the objective, you don't have to push much at all. I mean, you don't have to even go past the western 20% of the map to defend it. And an offense, I think you've got to get impact building. You've got to get that overwatch to take out some of those positions, create a hole in the defense on one of the sides, and punch through that side.
We'll see what KOVRA can do with it. Moving into this next round. Jump in here. Round number 3. This map's going mighty quick.
For sure. This is the key defensive round here for KOVRA. Can they hold this one off? Ronin looking to make a hard southern push here. They seem to like sticking close together. Not very close, but I think it allows them to have that chemistry and ability to reposition.
Definitely, yeah, you can see on the map, I mean, they got the 2-2-1, but all on the same side here, all pushing up in a pretty much uniform line, trying to support one another, get those picks, and so far it's been working out for them.
Yeah, they're not going to be running into any resistance quite yet. They're already up at center. They're at hospital. They've taken over, I mean, a huge chunk of the map. And like I said, this objective, you can hold it by sticking on the west side. And one of them, Chacha gets spotted, but the shots don't land.
That's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. And continuing this push from the hospital towards that kind of western side, the gas station and beyond it in the white car will be tough, and honestly I think it's kind of a losing angle to take. They have just such a strong position. Cha just having that box and could even go under the white car if he so desired. They kind of control this battlefield, and Ronin will have to do a lot to make it work for them, and smoke being deployed gives them that opportunity to push out, gets forward and beyond their deadly line there. Might be just what they needed. Chevy, meanwhile, taking over the crash building here. We'll see what kind of damage he can do from there. And as you said, it's just a really strong position, and any objective that's near it it often has a part to play in the narrative. And I'm excited to see what happens here. Yune just hiding basically around this little corner, waiting for somebody to come on this crash building and able to just ambush them. I think it's going to work out real well for him, as Chevy doesn't seem to have any idea that Yune could be here.
For sure. I love Unai's position, as chat's letting us know. It's
Unai.
such a sneaky little spot, and he can look both sides, right? He can look at anybody trying to come up from the front of impact. He could swing right and look at this impact courtyard. Both really, strong angles, and kind of behind where the attackers will be looking. So
give them that false sense of security.
Exactly. I gotta say, Chacha staying alive is huge right now. Because they haven't gotten that pick, I think it slowed that offense down. They're still trying to kill Chacha here. They just haven't been able to because of how dark and tight that corner is. But 3 minutes on the clock, and 5-on-5 still. Nobody's found a pick.
See what happens. KOVRA able to get a pickup onto Black there, as he's done
KOVRA.
actually a far-flung rotation, even pulling us through a loop. We didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking on that 5-man push. Ooh, Chacha goes down by 2. KOVRA and Bronx are very close, next door neighbors. There's the behind the back shot as Une takes out Chevy.
Let you say that because I forgot already.
Unai. Sorry, not Unai.
Unai. Now Bronx
Unai.
guy just back to back with Kogaro, being so patient here. Just letting Kogaro make this push instead of giving his position away. And once they know you're there, you can't really rotate out. You can't get out, and you're just going to get taken out by some kind of utility. So staying steady here, letting them make the moves might just be the right move. Bronx, though, choosing to go on the offense, using that PKM to his advantage there, just laying it in and able to get that pickup onto Kogaro there. Excellent pickup, and no rotation from the attackers here, as the person that would have been able to catch him actually got taken out at the same time, roughly.
Yeah, on the other side, KOVRA number 3 did get a pickup onto someone else, and Ryota, the last attacker, goes down from the sneaky flanker. I gotta say, KOVRA number 3's flank there was fantastic, because I was thinking, as I saw that 5-man southern push, I was thinking, man, a flank here would be crazy. And KOVRA number 3, I don't know whether it was luck or whether it was recognizing that there was that strong southern push, and went on that flank. I think he went north, around east, and came up behind them with the suppressed gun as well, picked off 3 of them. And I honestly don't think they reacted after the first kill at all. They didn't realize.
Definitely a bold move coming from KOVRA, and just what they needed to come back into this game, get that momentum flowing the other way. With that first point on the board, who knows, maybe they could just bring this back, and we've seen that quite a bit lately as well. Those 0-3s to 3-3s matchups happening all the time. Very exciting. I hope to see that here. But we'll just have to see if KOVRA can continue to push forward here and bring it back to Ronin.
I really like that defensive setup that they had. They had tight corners, tucked in spots, a lot of spots that we've been seeing recently. So I think this is a team that's been watching their film and studying how other teams are playing Quarantine. They didn't come here unprepared. So KOVRA did have a good setup, and they finished it with 4 up. Ronin had a hard time finding any intel at all. I mean, they were down to, I think, 2.5 minutes, and they knew where one defender was. That's all they knew. That's tough as an attacking team to not have any intel. And they were already at 60+% of the map, so they kind of had to go in, push in the darkness. And KOVRA, with some sneaky spots, just won those fights.
Sometimes you just got to be the fall guy too, right? Cha-Cha just sitting there taking fire constantly, but did his job. Very good on him.
For sure. And now we enter a pretty pivotal round for KOVRA. They won their defense. If they win this round here, they go on defense again, have a shot at winning it again. So let's see what they can do here. They get the same spawn as Ronin did.
Could be a fun one here. Let's see what they do. Kind of a different offense from last round. We have only 2, maybe 3 going more south and middle. 2 going for the far north right off the bat. Might run into a defender there all the way on the western side. It's see what they see as they come around the corner here, and Black actually in a great position to catch any of this quick rotations and movement through the north, catching that movement from Chachinobi and immediately getting that pickup. Gonna be a good start for Ronin, bringing this to a 5v4.
Yeah, over in the south, I believe we had some shots fired as well from, I think, perhaps Koguru? Yep, I think Koguru was taking shots onto Hospital.
Kind of an interesting objective where you kind of know where the offense is going to go pretty much every time. The need for that kind of spread from the offense to catch all those angles watching in is just pivotal, and using that knowledge to their advantage can work very well. Nanachi in a great position as well to maybe catch Unai? We'll get it right someday. Close, okay? Close. Maybe? I'm trying. Okay, I'm trying. Might be able to catch him here. just the right height to peek over this and not really be easily seen from the offense. KOVRA doing his best. KOVRA number 3 doing his best to catch a glimpse of any defenders in this window, but not quite able to get it there. Bronx guy just firing at the wall, trying to get the attention of the attackers, or so I assume. Just firing and firing and firing. And
Black on a flank here, though, might run into Bronx guy soon. All this fire is letting him know exactly where Bronx guy is.
He's doing a good job of firing in the location that Black might be in. Yune and Ryota both getting a pickup of their own there. KOVRA, though, down to 3. Ronin only down to 4. That said, KOVRA has made some gains here, killed the person in the gas station, opening up an opportunity, but Black able to get that pickup in the back. Ryota also getting a pickup on the KOVRA number 3, and KOVRA just down to 1. Oops.
Yeah, it's all up to Unai now against 4 of Ronin. Tough to be in. He's lasering in onto Ryota. If Ryota makes a peek here, it could be a pick. Ryota does, and they trade.
Kind of some crazy flanks going on that map, huh?
Yeah, Black with the flank, picks off 1, goes on a flank. I mean, risky move, but it paid off handsomely as he did get that pickup. It's really the confidence in his teammates to, you know, say, hey, you guys got to stay alive till I do something. I get kills or I get killed. And that time he got kills.
That's what it takes if you want to be a flanker. But when it pays off good. And dang, do you feel good.
Oh, yeah.
Get those pickups there. We'll have to see what map 2 is going to be. This one going to be KOVRA's pick. The home team getting 2 picks, that being Ronin. 2 map picks, and the away team in KOVRA gets 1. Any thoughts on what this next map could be, Etch?
You know, I really don't know. I don't really know what these teams, what they want to play like. But coming off of that map, I felt like KOVRA had some really good set defenses. I think if round 1 went differently and they were able to win that round, we could be looking at more back and forth defensive rounds. So maybe they're just warming up, you know. Maybe they just needed a couple rounds to warm up. So I don't know if there's a lot of takeaways from this map that should inform the next map decision. But I think they should pick their strength. I mean, whether it's a close range map that they feel comfortable on, or you want to go snow peak perhaps. I don't know.
It definitely hurts though too, having a drop in the first round. A lot to come back from, but going to a little bit more of a CQB style map in Suburbia for map 2. A good old standby. Let's see, let's grab Suburbia, put that one on the board. The map that could be your backyard. If your backyard was filled with Humvees, APCs, a bunch of crash cars, and just people who are just generally really bad at parking. I do have to say, I mean, this guy in this red car, he's like literally on a sidewalk. Like, who does that?
Well, I mean, there is no, I mean, the street, there's 2 lanes, and I guess it's a one-way street. I mean, he could park on the sidewalk, right? I mean, he could be terrible and be parking on the sidewalk. He's choosing to be on the road, so let's give him some points here. Like, look at the white car
That's
guy,
one of the
right?
red cars. That's one of the red cars. This one over here in lane 4, there's no excuse.
True. That, I mean, yes, that's true. He looks like he wanted to go for a barbecue in the backyard and just kind of drove a little too far.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to walk, okay? It's hot. I just want to get in there. I want to get some burgers.
I mean, maybe they were front gating, right? Maybe it was like doing tailgating, but with the front, and like, you know, they were doing barbecues on the front. I don't know.
Okay. Just cooking it on the engine block itself. Add a little bit of oil
up.
flavor.
Efficient, you know, smoky.
Delicious. But no time for some lazy barbecues. Definitely really hot though. Could be a good time for the barbecues, I do have to say. But enough of food. We're gonna jump into round 1 here, and it's gonna be a spicy one. In the center house objective, this is objective of CQB, utility, pre-fire, the works.
There's the pre-fire. Doesn't land any shots, but does scare the offense a little bit. At the very least, it's a battle cry that puts some fear in your opponents.
Nanachi picking up 2 before Chacha able to get that repick. Chacha not wasting any time, running into the center house, and Kugaro, what an interesting spot, able to get that pickup. Chevy getting a pickup onto Une as well, and just like that, KOVRA down to 1.
Yeah, before all that happened, I was just about to say, and Black finds Battle Rose. What a fast round. Wow.
Yep. That's
I was
that's how
gonna
that one
say
goes.
I was gonna say we saw some aggression in map 1 on Quarantine and some fast rounds, so I was like wondering, hey, this is a map that's perfect for aggression. I mean, you have a lot of loops and the ability to make rotations and flanks, but there was no need for flanks as these teams just went head on, fought over the middle, and Ronin came out on top.
Yeah, that positioning almost looked planned for that kind of offense. They had, what was it? Nanachi there, able to get that quick pickup from that center lane there, able to pick up 2 and stop their advance, slow it down. Kugaro, I think, was the most interesting position. Kind of a porch position, but facing the center hallway. And just like looking through this tiny slit of a window right next to the door, and able to pick up any of those players that chooses to charge forward, just trying to get to the stairs, desperately going for objective, and not really a spot that you think to look, and a very hard shot as well, as it's just a tiny little slit. You got to get that headshot, otherwise you're not going to get them. Well played from Ronin, anticipating that attack from KOVRA.
Yeah, Ronin were prepared for an aggressive attack, and that's just what came out of KOVRA. Who's the play just didn't work there. I think let's see, I wonder if we'll see a replay of that round just going the other way around.
I think Ronin's going to take it a little bit more cautiously. That's my take. We'll have to see what happens though.
I don't know. I mean, the teams that have the best defenses against aggression are also teams that are very aggressive. So
that's very true. You try and counter
they have
your own
the antidote.
play, right?
They've got the antidote to their own poison, usually.
Okay, nice. I'll have to give you on that one. You're like, I'm so clever. But
I've been waiting to use that one for so long.
Look at this attack, though. We got, it almost looks like they're trying to defend, not knowing that they're on offense this time. Like, this could be a decent defense for one of the northern objectives, and maybe they're expecting a defensive rotation, a defensive flank coming from KOVRA after that last round, but not going to be any of that. KOVRA having quite a good defensive setup, just all in around the center building there. A couple outliers to watch these rotations, maybe catch somebody early in lane 4 as number 3 tries to peek over towards white car in lane 4. Not quite seeing Kogero just yet, but this battle could happen at any moment as Kogero peeks over the top of the white car, and KOVRA in a prone shot able to get Kugaro.
Wow.
Quick and cool headshot. What an excellent shot from him.
Yeah, now number 3 has to settle down and not push this, because Nanachi is ready for an aggressive move from a defender. And if number 3 does that, he'll walk right into Nanachi's trap. But the defense, I mean, the offense is still in a defensive holding pattern here, waiting for any aggression. And KOVRA aren't going to do it, I don't think, yet.
Unfortunately, I fat fingered the replay there, not able to catch that excellent play from number 3. Instead of watching some old stale quarantine action, but that's good. We saw it is catch on camera here as number 3 pushing his luck a little bit, pushing up just a bit there, but I think it might actually play out well for him as he's in a good position to just kind of ambush Nanachi there if he doesn't peek too much, which Nanachi able to catch that little rotation that number 3 was doing. Instead, he's pushing towards the center here and maybe trying to catch Chevy or Ryota off guard.
Yeah, I think number 3 might get Ryota as he pushes this. Meanwhile, Chevy challenging the middle. He'll run it to Tachinobi. Ryota does peek out, and KOVRA shoots him from behind.
Chacha, though, picking up Chevy as well. This defense is working so well for KOVRA here. 5-2.
Number 3 with another flanky push takes out Black. Defensive holding pattern did work, but didn't matter. KOVRA still went on these flanks after picking off numbers from sneaky spots.
Nachi, you're feeling the burn. Being on burning building from these defensive flankers. I'm sorry, Chad. I'm sorry.
All right. You're one-upping me now. All right, I'm gonna have to come back with one now.
Yeah, we'll see, Etch. We'll see what you can do. Nanachi continuing this push up, making it all the way south here. Doesn't look like KOVRA is really aware that this push could happen. No one really facing back to make sure nobody comes in from the back, but Unai eventually should be able to have a shot onto him if he continues pushing towards the center house here. Cha-Cha as well actually could catch him as he comes around the corner here, but just narrowly misses him as Nanachi comes around and gets that pickup. But he's only down, and Cha-Cha will be able to give those accurate call-outs of where Nanachi is and where he's going. Number 3 is going to have some excellent intel to push forward and try and catch Nanachi as Battle Rose tries to do the same from the other side.
KOVRA finishes it with another excellent rotation. If you're going to flank in Suburbia, that's how you have to do it. I think it was well played. They had comfort on this map. Good pick by them because despite Ronin being ready for aggression, it didn't matter. It just didn't matter. KOVRA number 3 just wreaked havoc through their offensive attack, picking them off one by one, going hedge to hedge, shrub to shrub. Just really well done rotations and flanks. Single solo guerrilla warfare operator just taking apart that offense. Sorry.
I gotta say though, there was that period there where he's like, "Oh man," he's like totally surrounded by like 3 people. Flashes are coming out left and right, and he just has to wonder, man, like, did I overextend here? Did I do too much? Did I expose myself too much? Am I just gonna give my life for nothing? But by choosing to move forward and then hold in position, let them come forward, getting that shot in the back, and then rotating off that worked oh so well for number 3, and we have seen that earlier in map 1 actually from both teams, but I think it's a bit of a specialty for KOVRA and what they're trying to accomplish going forward here is it seems to work out really well for them, and like you said, doing really well on their flanks and not overdoing it, just the right amount against the team they're playing.
Yeah, specifically KOVRA number 3 on the flanks while the rest of the team holds down the angles, doesn't create any holes in coverage. So seems like a schemed play that they have. Let's see if it continues.
Let's jump into round 3 here, neck to neck, 1-1. Either team here could take the momentum. It just we'll have to see who comes out ahead here. Ugaro pushing forward quite a bit here, coming around the corner here. Lane 1, Unai able to get that pickup. Not gonna be good for the defense. Less 5 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock, and already having a pickup early gives them a lot to work with, and lightens the load, as it were.
Yeah, and a pick onto Nanachi here. That's the next target, I think. Black also in a sneaky spot over here in Playground. These are their two southern defenders. Remove them, and you've got a northern defense that you can put pressure on. So that's what we've got to watch here for.
Number 3 doesn't look like he's going to pick up the bait, though. He's just kind of holding position, keeping his cool, talking to his teammates there, waiting for them to push forward on their lanes. And if he continues to do this peek here, Black has all the advantage here, peeking from cover through the cracks of these Heskos. It's going to be tough for number 3 to spot, but number 3 definitely has had some eagle eyes in the past and could make it work, but I wouldn't want to take this angle, that's for sure.
Yeah, the rest of the offense is still just holding, seeing what they can get from the defense. But yeah, number 3 and Black are just seconds away from engagement.
Yeah, I keep wanting to pull away, but it's so close. It's so close. Number 3's like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that.
He's teasing us. Number 3 is just teasing us. Is Black gonna hold it? Is the question I have. Is Black patient enough to just stay there, not move?
I don't know. Black has got pretty aggressive on his pushes himself. Yeah. And actually, it was pretty interesting. The objective, other than white car, was fairly open for quite a long time there. The white car, a good position to defend from, but at the same time, a little risky too. Looks like the push from the west is beginning to happen. Smokes are going over objective now, really blocking the sight lines, that making Chevy pull back, getting their attention. KOVRA getting the pickup on the Black, and Chevy with an excellent C4 able to pick up Unai, or at least down him. As soon as I pull away, though, of course number 3 pushes though. Start it, number 3.
Yep, I didn't quite catch what happened on that side as well. But Nanachi is the silent horse here that they have to take out. Can they root Nanachi out, or will Nanachi get 1, 2, or more picks even? But Unai is bait right now. If anybody comes to confirm Unai, Bronx Guy and Cha-Cha are here.
Gonna be a tough one though. Some more utility coming out in Smokes. It actually hits the light post. Excellent throw, or at least a nice pickup though from Cha-Cha, able to pick up Ryota on the white car, opening up quite a vulnerability in their defense, making Chevy and Nanachi basically have to watch towards objective. They can't look back in the other directions dealing with Bronx Guy or number 3 here, as the push for objective could happen at any time.
Yeah, Nanachi's holding a tight line here. If Nanachi goes down, this is a very, very bad place to be in. But
the revive comes out as well. The objective is so close for the attackers here.
Yeah, KOVRA number 3 is going on their backside, very cautious. If KOVRA number 3 swings a little faster, can find potentially Chevy, who's not expecting it.
Some utility coming from Chevy. Flash grenade coming out, possibly catch Cha-Cha there. Battle Rose though and Unai together defending their teammate, and Bronx or Nanachi picking up, or someone died. People died. Bullets were thrown and people died.
Excellent attack from KOVRA. I mean, KOVRA just took it. They were patient. Their plays just worked well there. Good plays from Ronan as well. I mean, they sent one out early, didn't work out. Black in a sneaky spot, didn't work out. And then the rest of the bricks kind of just fell.
KOVRA had an excellent battle line too. Very, very cautious. I just want to add too. I mean, they were back basically in their spawn for like 4 minutes of the round there. Only in about the last 2 minutes did they really push up. They even had an early pick in Kugaro, but they chose to instead continue to play it cautiously, maybe just knowing that they have the initiative, they have the time, they don't have to rush it and put everything on the line, and what hasn't really been working for them when they do those really strong 5-man pushes, Ronin has shut them down every time. So maybe that kind of shift in their game style is just what they needed to really bring this back, and we're kind of seeing that now on the score lines. KOVRA up 2 points.
Yeah, they're showing some familiarity with this map, and they're waking up. The snake is waking up, so I don't think this, despite what map 1 felt like, this game isn't over.
Sometimes you got to take the hits, man. You don't play well on a map, something's not clicking on your team. It happens. You just have to regroup, do a little pep talk in the tent and play your best game. And that's what we're seeing. And I love to see that resilience coming from these teams.
And KOVRA, despite being a new team, are not hesitant in their plans. They show up and they get set, and they know exactly what they're doing. So that's a sign of a good coordinated practice team. So I like seeing it, even from a new team.
Some defensive smokes too.
Yeah, with an interesting smoke to protect his backside while he holds this line, perhaps hoping to kill any aggressive pushes.
Ronin doing quite a good job here of taking control of lane 1. They have pretty much complete dominance over it. They're taking control. Smokes are coming out already onto objective. Unlike last round, we're seeing quite the offensive play here. Black pushing up aggressively, getting in a position to stop Bronx, who felt like he had to move towards objective. KOVRA moving onto objective as we speak, picking up Unai. He's got his tablet out. He's on objective, and he gets the code in extremely quickly, bringing them up 2 points.
What a fast cap. I mean, they just took out the defenders on the west side, and the remaining 2 defenders were all the way in lane 4 without rotating, without any time to rotate. I mean, even if they chose to rotate, KOVRA with the, what was that, 1.52 second cap there? That's unstoppable.
That was quite the cap, man. I was like, woo, a little hot there.
Yeah.
His fingers are probably smoking.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a very well organized technical attack that we saw from Ronin. We saw those early picks. We saw those push-ups getting into position, setting up for the attack. They had the utility that they needed as well for the push that they obviously had planned. They had smokes all over objective, and just by doing that, they actually were able to pick a couple of the players from the defenders who had to rotate from their defensive positions where they have the advantage, get them in the back, get those easy picks, and then just move on to objective with all that opposition taken out. Just excellent and well played from Ronin, and pretty much what they expected when they did this sort of play, using the smokes as they did. Definitely have to commend them for that play.
I think from the KOVRA side, they panicked a little too early. The smoke came onto objective, but there still was sightlines. They had good defense of the objective, but they started to panic, and they started to reveal their position, and they started to, shoot and pre-fire and kind of caused chaos themselves, giving up their positions and allowing themselves to be picked. And while they felt that tension, their further defenders didn't respond to that, right? So the closest defenders felt tension, but the others didn't. So good attack by Ronin nevertheless, and let's see what KOVRA can do on the burning objective. And they get a cap of their own. But, the way that this map's been going, it's going to be about aggression.
Shots already ringing out. These players using the pre-fire to their advantage, trying to cut off the attackers as they move forward towards the objective. On the burning house, Nanachi in a good position to maybe counter Bronx as he pushes up towards the center house. Both players just on the opposite side of the 2 walls there. Unai putting some shots downrange towards Chevy, trying to get him. Nanachi picking up Cha-Cha. Ooh, thrown C4 on Unai, picking him up. It's going to be an easy confirm for Chevy. Everything is happening, man.
Yeah, Bronx identified where Nanachi was and gets the refrag, putting in a 3v 2v3 now as Black and Battle Rose trade. But Battle Rose coming out on top, Rezible in a very safe spot. So this will be a 3v3 very shortly. Hopefully.
Definitely the case here. I think that after that flurry of gunfire, they're just a little hesitant to push forward here. Bronx, so kind of an island onto himself here, just sitting in the center house and having to worry about his front side in Kugaro, but also Chevy on his rear side.
Yeah, Chevy's behind him in a sneaky spot. Bronx guy has to hold. He needs to just wait for this res and wait for some support from his teammates. But Chevy, though, pushes Bronx guy, flanks him. Can Bronx get the call out? I'm not sure if he did. But now KOVRA seems to not be going for this res.
That's a tough one, man. Being that last man, but in the middle, center of the map there, your whole team is just completely in a different spot. Good pickup from number 3 on the Ryota. Now, I think he's taking the opportunity to go for this res, but definitely worried about some flankers. And despite everything that's been said, everything that we've seen, it's actually down to a 1v2 and soon to be a 2v2. So this could go either way.
Yeah, and the defenders have repositioned to get better ice out onto objective. There is a lane here for some picks, and this could turn pretty quickly. Chevy and Koguru both kind of in a similar line facing these attackers. Looks like KOVRA number 3 is going to rotate towards lane 1 off of that initial peaks on 4.
Battle Rose putting some rounds down range, maybe confirming a body. But nonetheless, giving his position away to the likes of Chevy and Kugaro. Some utility in the frag coming out and picking up Battle Bros and just being an instant takedown of him. Oh, man. What a beautiful grenade.
That was
oh, no.
almost
Didn't save.
That was almost the entire map. That was a crazy long-range grenade. Here's the shots. Just tosses this beauty pop shot over. Wow.
I need to press harder or something. Didn't pick that one either. But number 3 here pushing up lane 1. Should be able to get the shot on the Chevy's rear. Good shot from him. And now he's just going for the quick rotation, using this opportunity to come from a different angle. But if he's not careful, Kugaro might be able to get an angle on him as he pushes around, coming from a different angle. But looks like he will be able to get out of the danger zone of Kugaro as he rushes back to objective, knowing that it's just him.
Yeah, 1v1. KOVRA's lifeline here. They're hanging on by a thread in this map, but who better to do it than number 3, who's 7-1 right now. Really carrying this team with a lot of strong plays and rotations like the one he's doing right now. But Kogaro, meanwhile, has repositioned into a safe, defensible spot, and Kogaro just came from getting a cap. Also strong plays from him in a good position to defend from a cap, but oh boy, he's got a lot to look at.
I think number 1 or maybe number 2 could be a good antidote of its own, but we don't have them now. It's just up to number 3.
Hey, maybe he's number 1, 2, and 3.
Ooh, it's like an evolution.
Yeah.
He's going a little quiet here. You know, he has 1 minute and 25 seconds left. He's basically within a stone's throw of the objective, so he can really take his time, go as slow as he needs to clear every conceivable angle, trying to find Kugaro, and using the stealth to his advantage as he comes around. This is the position you want to be in a 1v1. You want to be the attacker. You have all the opportunity and the momentum to just really push it to the defenders, who have to make sure that no one caps it, and that really boxes them in, doesn't give them any choices. And KOVRA, number 3, coming around the corner, tying this up to a 3-3. It could be anyone's game.
He takes it 7-1, makes it 8-1, keeping his team alive. 3-3, KOVRA on defense. This is the map. They need this to stay alive in the series. And great plays from him. Fantastic rotation. Started off in 4, went to 1, came back to 4. And Kogaro was in a position to just make a lot of rotations. He was exposed. He was looking at every which direction. And he's bound to have blind zones by doing that. And KOVRA number 3, stealthy, sneaky, just takes them out.
Definitely true. I mean, when you become that last defender, and certain objectives definitely more so than others, but you really have a limited amount of places you can actually be, where you can actually cover every conceivable angle that you could get capped on. And you know, in a 1v1 or a 1v whatever, they're going to be thinking about capping. It's going to be on their mind. They know that there's a small amount of players. They know you're distracted. They know that, you know, you might just not see them. You know, you're looking everywhere. You can't have your full undivided attention in one area like you'd see in a 4v4, 5v5, any of that, where you have all those angles covered by different players. You know, just having to keep your head on such a crazy 360 swivel really does a number on you. And I mean, you just have only so much that you can look at any one time.
Yeah, and I love 1v1s because it's so, you know, it comes down to map knowledge, coverage, situational awareness, and just psychology of like, what is your opponent going to do and how do you outsmart that opponent?
Definitely true there. I can't disagree with you whatsoever. It's also coincidentally really fun to watch from the caster view.
Yeah.
Let's jump into round 6 here. This is the make or break moment for these two teams. And Ronin getting quite aggressive for such a nail biter of a round.
I think recognizing what worked last round, they're going to do it. Unai comes out, peeks in playground, and Black ready for it. Now KOVRA are down one.
I think Black is kind of a master at those sneaky positions where he listens for them to come forward, pops around the corner, gets it, and then sneaks back into the shadows at the same speed. It just works out so well for him, and we've seen that quite a bit in this series so far.
Great smoke plays. These are coordinated smoke plays to cover lines of visibility. Unfortunately, two of them don't quite land where they want them to land, but Chevy pushing up lane 4 gets seen. Flash onto Battle Rose.
Ooh.
Chevy does find Chachinobi.
KOVRA, though, on objective. He's now got his tablet out. We'll have to see just how quick he can get this cap off. As he does his best, the defender's really not able to stop him. 2 players on objective, 3 on objective, and Ronin gets another cap, bringing this to a 5v3 on the scoreline, bringing them the win for this series.
Yeah, KOVRA was smoking hot on that objective. That was a cap play from the start. The smokes, the push on lane 4 towards playground. They got the first pick they needed. They got the second pick they needed. They flashed the guy on objective. I mean, a great, well-played, well-coordinated play. And just a fire cap on the porch of burning playground, and the fire department wasn't there from KOVRA.
Darn it! Of course, you get the last laugh, the last words, but so true. Just Ronin on these very aggressive but coordinated attacks, working out so well for him. They know that the smokes work. They know that it makes KOVRA panic, and you know, everyone just looking towards objective isn't looking for the threats coming out to kill him, which you know, unfortunately opens up the objective to those same caps that they're all worried about. They're all looking for. But you know, sometimes that's just how it goes. We're gonna jump into map 3 here. A bit of a change here in Snow Peak.
Yeah, great plays from KOVRA, but the series is the winners of the series are Ronin. Of course, we still play map 3 for MMR purposes for anyone new, and I believe we do have a few new folks in chat.
Welcome, welcome. This is a really fun map. It's kind of a map of opposites, and that you have those long-range objectives where you can see the snipers come out to play, the flanks, the rotations, and then you got these kind of CQB knife fights in the tunnels, where these players are just up in personal with the enemy team. They're so close, and popping around the corner, you could run into a team of 5 easily. Just coming out of their spawn, going for the objective, and that's actually the first objective that we're going to be doing in the tunnel objective. Quite an interesting one, if I do say so myself. What do you think about this objective, Etch?
Yeah, this is an objective with, I believe, 3 spawns, 2 of which are quick spawns. So your likelihood, maybe it's 4 and 2 are quick, but your likelihood of running into the opposite team within the first 30 seconds to a minute is just astronomically high. I mean, you have to expect it on defense because you can get overrun by attackers very quickly if you're not ready for it.
It's actually a strategy we've seen as well, where players will stack 5 or 4 players and all push from one direction, and everyone being kind of partitioned by the walls of the tunnel, the different paths that you can take. The whole defensive team can't easily rotate to support these defenders that are trying to face off against the whole enemy team. But on the flip side, they also can bring utility to bear. One good flash grenade, you could flash 2 or 3 people and get advantageous trade, or a C4 and picking up half the enemy team, or even all of them if they're getting too close. And one LMG can really tie down and keep one corner under control and keep the attackers from moving forward. A lot of plays and counter plays that you can make on an objective like this, and I'm just so excited to see what happens. And knowing how Ronin and KOVRA have played in the past, those really aggressive pushes coming from both of those teams, I'm definitely sure we're going to see at least one of those coming forward here.
I have to say, one of the reasons I like the tight pushes is because you're not going to get lost when you're together, and it's much easier to coordinate. I mean, I feel like every time I go in these tunnels, there's a new extra 2 tunnels that are added, and I get lost. I swear it's growing. It has to be growing. I mean, it has to be.
Etch over here losing his mind, pulling his hair out. It's okay, Etch. It's okay. We'll get out of this alive.
Yep. But I mean, it is a new map. I mean, this is a map that's been around for a while, but until this season, this was not a map that people played that much. It was a wildcard map, but this season it's become a staple in the map pool, with teams picking it often, and teams are comfortable playing on it, and I like seeing it. We've seen meta shifts because of that, as things get recognized and known. But this map is no longer a stranger to any team, really.
Yeah, I honestly think part of that can be contributed to these newer teams who don't know that it's really a newer map per se. They're all new to them, right? So they just play the maps, they get a feel for what works for their team, and they work on it. They practice it, and they find these new and crazy spots that are just, blow the enemy team out of the water. Sometimes literally with some really sneaky C4 placements, or really good defensive locations where you're able to get a couple before they even see you. It's definitely a fun map, and I'm excited that it was picked in this series, and what these two teams will be bringing. A bit of different teams in the Korean and the Japanese community again might show us something entirely new and different than we've seen in the past.
For sure.
Definitely excited, but these teams, though, knowing that MMR on the line, either want to minimize that loss or want to make it, get the maximum amount of points possible, putting their full effort into planning and getting the best of strategies to really push forward and succeed strong in this first objective for Snow Peak.
Yeah, speaking about MMR, I mean, this season we're now in week 9, and a lot of the leaderboard is settling in. We don't have the uncertainty of the early season anymore. We're over halfway through now, and both these teams are new. They're looking to climb the rankings fast, but boy, is it hard to get up anywhere. because you've got a tight squad in the bronze that are fighting it out. Lots of challenges I'm seeing. You've got silver, which are, most of those teams are almost gold, trying to break into gold. And then gold and diamond, you have teams that are just trying to separate from the rest of the pack and crack that top 15 and get into that top 15. And then you get to the top 15, you have 12 plus teams that are all vying for the 7 spots that get you into the playoffs. And then you get to the top 7, and then you've got teams that are all vying to get into the top 3, and they're all qualified to do so. So it's just such a tight race this season, and it's awesome to see the leaderboard shake up week to week.
And what I find actually really interesting as well is that these, in the top divisions at least, these teams are trading. They're not. You don't just see one team winning everything. Although Era 404 did their best effort to make that a reality, recently getting bested by PK, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah. But doing really well for themselves, and coming from bronze all the way to master. Not the first time, and won't be the last, but definitely kudos for them making their plays, strategies, and teamwork really work for them. And we could see that from these teams as well, or any team really, that puts the effort forward, practices, comes up with new and innovative strategies. It's just kind of on you as a team to really make that happen. And when you do well, your efforts don't go unnoticed. People do see those meteoric rises. They see the potential in a team, and frankly, it's just fun to watch.
For sure. And for anyone new in chat, do check out the VRML website, check out the VRML Discord. There are lots of teams that are recruiting. Starting a team is always an option, but there are lots of teams that are recruiting all across the board. And it's a great way to play the game. I mean, playing competitively just changes the way this game feels. And I'm sure there are a lot more folks that are interested who haven't quite taken the plunge yet. So I recommend taking the plunge, despite the season having already started.
Absolutely. And what's actually kind of interesting, too, is even if you don't get into that top 7 slot, which, guarantees you a spot in the semifinals, you still got, what do they call it? The
Challenger Cup?
Challenger Cup, yes, the Challenger Cup, where any team, or usually any team, can put their name in the hat, as it were, and duke it out and try to see if they can be the coveted 8th team to get into the finals, no matter what your score line is, no matter if you're a master team or a bronze team. If you have the chops to win that cup, you can push forward and face the other teams in the semifinals, and possibly even go to the finals, duking it out for the ultimate prizes.
And boy, I can't wait to see Challenger Cup this year. I mean, what a fight that's going to be. Just the amount of teams that we have in the league this season, it's going to be crazy to watch. And it's always long days. Challenger Cup are always long. It might be even longer this year. But, the road to the top is tough to get through. So only the mightiest will get there.
Thanks for sticking with us, guys. I know it's been a little bit of a long one here, but one player was having trouble getting in that lobby, getting ready, but we do have a 5v5 now, and I'm sure that after some quick strategies are thrown out there, we should be getting started. Do stick with us there. And something I haven't actually looked into, but did they announce the prize pool already? Or is that something they haven't disclosed yet?
I don't think it's been announced yet, but I believe it's more, if not equivalent to last year, which was cash, as well as lots of goodies from our amazing sponsors.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you definitely have some excellent prizes, some excellent peripherals, and shirts and VR wear to really show your dedication to this honestly emerging sport and medium. I mean, you had PCs, you had consoles, and now kind of all by itself is VR. It's just completely new.
Yeah.
The way these players interact with the game world is just so novel and interesting. I mean, video games honestly have been kind of in this stage of where they're just reiterating on what other people have done, reiterating on the past, and you've never seen such crazy interactions like you have in a game like Onward, for example, where these players, when they want to crouch in game, they got to crouch in real life. When they want to go prone, shoot under a car, they can. You know, when you want to put your gun sideways and shoot over the top of a box to keep your head further in cover, or just put your gun around the corner of full sail and fire blindly around the corner, you can do that. And you often can't, where it's really clunky in a game that's on, you know, it's usually called like pancake games, but like just games that you have on a flat screen. So it's super, super fun, especially players that haven't actually had an opportunity to try it for yourself. I really recommend that you go out there and maybe go find a VR arcade or a friend that has a console or has a VR headset. And the Quest headsets actually are very, very cheap and affordable to get into, and Onward and other games are available on those natively. So even if you don't have a lot of cash, you could get into this game. You could get playing and maybe even joining the VRML and put your skills on the line against other players coming in here. And I mean, with all these new players coming in, it's really, really started to grow, and this is just honestly the beginning.
Yeah, and the physicality of VR, like you're talking about, is just so unique. I mean, we saw it earlier in this match with KOVRA, you know, going prone, drop shots. We see people, you know, exchanging mags. The grenade we saw was not, you know, it's, you gotta know how to throw a grenade, right? You've got to have an arc, you've got to have everything, right? Timing, all of that. The physicality that VR brings is just so unique, and Onward in particular, I think, you know, does reward players who play like that. So for those who haven't tried it, definitely recommend it. It changes the way that you think about gaming, and you're just never going to go back to pancake games, I guarantee it.
And I just want to point out too that it doesn't end there. I mean, they have these controllers they're holding out in front of them to aim their weapons, right? But they also have some peripherals, you know, that allow you to really enhance your gameplay and really bring you into the game world. And in this case, it's actually from one of our amazing sponsors, ProTube. You got kind of this kind of gun rig setup where you're actually shouldering, you know, a weapon in real life, or like a proxy of a weapon. You put your controllers in it, and it feels like you're actually, you know, holding a rifle. You pull it up, you have your weapons all lined up in front of you, and you get these super accurate shots. And I mean, regardless of that, it just feels freaking cool. And there's even some really interesting modules or additions to the ProTube that they've come out with, like in the Force Tube, where you actually feel a haptic feedback hit, you know, pumping into your shoulders, simulating that gunfire that you're putting out in the game. But we're going to actually jump in here. Round one is about to begin. A bit of a long setup here, but it should be an explosive round here. Quick spawn, as you talked about. And knowing Ronin, I think we're going to see some explosive action.
Yeah, we'll have to see if KOVRA are ready for this quick spawn, how they are going to position themselves. And it looks like we're going to see 2 of Ronin going north and 3 pushing that horseshoe tunnel, running potentially to Jason first, who I believe is a substitute, and yep, they take out Jason. The first defender down.
If you're Jason, you're feeling a little exposed there. 3 players coming around the corner there. He just happened to be facing the wrong direction. Happens from time to time for sure. And number 3 picking up 2 in a little interesting spot where he just pops out of cover and gets those kills, and kind of just lurking ambush in the shadows.
Yeah, that shuts down that north push, and everything is going to be central here. Nanachi and Battle Rose going to come into contact. Battle Rose might have seen Nanachi, maybe not. Yep, there it is. Smokes on objective.
Oh, man. Kugaro and Bronx trying to fight it off there. Bronx coming out ahead, but Battle Rose not able to tell who's through that smoke. Gets a team kill. And Ryota running up towards the objective, getting the knife on the Battle Rose. The objective is open. Ooh, but number 3 coming around from the back, able to clear out that last attacker and bringing it to 0-1 for KOVRA. Or 1-0 for KOVRA, I guess. It's a better way to say it.
Yeah, we may be in the frozen tundra of Snow Peak, but KOVRA have now fully warmed up. I think that, you know, they were missing some shots in quarantine and just not feeling it, but they're warm here. And KOVRA number 3 with that crucial two-piece pickup. The smokes came out, but they kind of shut down entryway. They watched those tunnels. They were set up for that push, but yeah, those smokes did cause some anxiety there. They didn't have visibility in OBJ. There was a whole KOVRA who's already gotten 2 caps today. Was looking to maybe get a 3rd one.
I don't know if you heard it, Etch, but I facepalmed. I hope you heard it, because you deserve it, buddy.
Hey, I'm on a roll, okay?
Oh man, like you said, good round there. Ronan had a good start there, getting the, starting to get those picks, but then running into number 3, who has been a thorn in their side, is kind of off meta positionings, really aggressive positionings usually, really working out dividends for him. Getting those 2 picks, I think, was pivotal. Not getting taken out himself, and basically in that moment became a flanker, and that he was on their backside as all the players have to shuffle down the center corridor to go towards the objective. A bit of cover in the middle from the boxes, but still some opportunities from picks, as we saw from number 3 as he came back on around, getting that last pickup and saving the objective, as it were, as it was totally covered in smoke and the defenders really didn't have a line onto it.
Yeah, that was a good start for KOVRA. Let's see what they can do on offense here. This is Ronan's map pick again. We're going to be getting the other quick spawn for KOVRA.
Let's see what happens here. This one, I think, creates some really interesting and fun battles. This is the one I like to watch, so let's just see what happens.
I think we'll be seeing a 3-2 split with 3 going up the tunnels, or sorry, 3 going west, potentially to the north, and then 2 going through the tunnels.
It's actually an interesting line that KOVRA is taking. They're taking what I consider to be the weaker approach, as KOVRA on all the way down the lane, able to get that pickup on the battle rose. Unai rocking an M203, I want to add, trying to get that pickup, but KOVRA pulling back and around cover, able to get out of his line of sight. But Unai actually having control here, but not for long, as Black was coming around the corner, but KOVRA will be the one to get the pick.
Yeah, Unai was trapped there, and that 2-man push through the tunnels is now completely thwarted. It's up to the 3 in the north.
I just want to, point out, like, the timing was just a little off there on that attack. You had the 3 players going for what, honestly is kind of a long flank going around the west side, going towards the north. And those 2 players pushing fast and hard from the southeast really didn't have any support from the rest of the team. And their deaths will honestly be a little bit in vain, as they don't really have any information from those deaths, as they're too far to really, work with anything that they heard. The positionings could have changed. Not a good place to be in for KOVRA here with the 3v5, but you never know. This is one of those volatile objectives where any amount of players honestly can make it work on the offense with some good placement, some good timing, good utility use. Definitely an opportunity here still for KOVRA to take this round.
Yeah, KOVRA are still staging for their approach. 2 of them in sort of the middle, and then KOVRA number 3 coming all the way north. Definitely, I think the right attack pattern here, they're very careful in clearing all their corners, because there are quite a lot of them.
The calm before the storm is Chevy in a good position to catch number 3 if he continues down this line, and We've seen this in the past too, where you take some shots and you quickly bug out, you get them to chase you, and then you blow them up with some C4 on your rear, and that's what we kind of see the setup from Chevy here. Number 3, though, coming around the corner here, Chevy has not quite seen him, just catches a glimpse of him and pulls down. In the meantime, Kugaro and Jason trade, and Frag comes out from Chevy. Number 3 pushing, using his opportunity to push forward there, and another trade comes out. Chevy, though, Rezable, and Ryota just a couple steps behind in a good opportunity to get that res and bring this back to a 4v1.
Yeah, tough place for Bronx guy to be in, but that's what happens when you're in a 3v5. They got 2 trades, and it's now a 1v4.
Bronx, though, has a bit of subterfuge on his side. He can just continue moving through these tunnels that grow every day, according to Etch, and just peek over this side, peek over that side, put some rounds down range, and just continue to just try and harry the defenders and try and get them to make an aggressive push and maybe bring this back. But tough place to be in for sure. You can see that now, a smoke being thrown and quick rotation to the other side. But it's tough. I mean, you rotate, but you're still going to the same tunnel where the defenders have lines facing down it, facing inwards, and you can't really outflank them all too easy.
Yeah, Bronx guy has to deal with Ryota, who has a tight angle through the bottom of this crate. We'll see him in a few seconds.
It's an evil spot, man.
I don't think Bronx guy will be ready for this at all.
He's got 2 people to deal with, and Chevy now as well, who actually now is rotating. This is his opportunity. Gets that pickup onto Ryota, but not before the trade comes out, and Ronin will put a point on the board. What do you think of that attack?
Yeah, they just got in a hole early. You know, like you were saying before, their timing was off on that initial push. Perhaps they're unprepared for, you know, engaging with defenders that early, maybe. And then it was just trades across the board, which obviously didn't turn the numbers advantage to their side. But a great defense from Ronin. They just held that inner corridor, didn't even let KOVRA get very close to it, and I believe they had 4 up at the end. Yeah, I believe there was a trade, but the res came out very quickly as the defenders on that objective kind of able to just kind of stick in close to one another and support each other, so those reses can easily come down before those attackers can rotate and get the confirm. But on the flip side, this objective, the Triangle of Doom, the Shack of Death, I hate this objective, is one where the defenders don't really have that opportunity to support each other all too well. They all have to watch their angles. They all have what amounts to be a really critical role to play, as any hole that gets added to the defense from players dying can prove to be very critical, as the attackers have an excellent opportunity to really exploit those weaknesses, use those holes to get those flanks, usually more on the south side of the subjective. But this one is a nail biter, and I'm sure KOVRA is definitely putting a lot of effort in the tent to try and make this one work, as it more often than not ends up being quite the tight objective. This is a very tough objective to defend, and Ronin will be getting the northeast warehouse spawn. So we'll see if they chose to push the tunnels and through the garage, which is obviously the closest approach to objective.
The push is starting. It's a bit more of a drawn out push, though. Everyone kind of going different angles here, trying to get good lines of sight. But Kugaro actually in a good position to maybe catch Battle Rose if he peeks too much there. But most players in that position don't peek too much, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I'm more interested in this crazy flanker. I'm gonna guess it's number 3. Oh, look, it's number 3. Number 3 flanking all the way in the southwest here. And should be able to tell his team that, hey, you know, it wasn't the southwest spawn. You need to worry about the north, and that good information should work out for them. As Unai should know that the enemy is coming up and around his position.
Yeah, I'm curious if cover number 3 is going to choose to push this any further or just stay here. Because effectively, he has a line all the way north and is defending 2 of the west west approaches.
Though, sorry to interrupt you there, but gets a nice pickup on a Ryota there, just listening for his approach and able to get that pickup and pull back into cover.
Oh, wow, Unai is also quite pushed up. Great spot.
Sometimes those positions can really play well for you. Oh, gotta jump over to number 3 though, who's actually very close by to the defenders here, or the attackers, and Nanachi, but I don't think he knows that, as he's just kind of going his own way.
Yeah, Nanachi's on a hunt, looking for. He spots it, can't land.
This is a tough angle for number 3 to take, and Nanachi takes it. You know, having that cover and shooting over that box gives him quite the advantage in that engagement. And we saw the what happened there when you try and take someone who has a strong angle on you.
For sure, Kogeru is slowly approaching towards Unai's location. Probably has no idea where Unai is.
He's one with the mountains. Kugara, though, instead choosing to go through the tunnel, kind of a similar approach that they saw from his team earlier, but you will have the foresight of a dead body just sitting in the snow. Should give him, you know, some clues at where Unai might be or might have been. We'll have to see what he does. The rest of the attack, though, just moving quite slowly here on the kind of southwest side here. And honestly, just looking at this the map right now, there's not very many people defending the objective. If this one guy on the objective goes down, Ronin has a good opportunity for a cap.
Yeah, the trouble is that Unai can't rotate. If Unai rotates, he's in trouble, but he has to hear Kogeru at this point. He think he does. Can he get another one? Yep, he swings and finds Kogeru.
I like this spot, is what Unai is probably thinking. I'm going to go here again. But we'll have to see if those picks will play to their favor here. Is Ronin down to 3, but Ronin, in my opinion, has the stronger position. As they're pushing up on objective, they have good offensive lines, watching all the different angles that the defenders could be coming back from. And again, if they're able to take out Battle Rose, this objective is extremely open, and Unai won't be able to rotate back in time. Bronx might be able to, and Chevy getting the pickup on a Battle Rose. The plan has been enacted. The opportunity for cap is here. Black just needs to push forward and take it in his hands. Bronx guy will be the last defender to really have any kind of relevance. Nanachi's on objective. He has his tablet out. He is capping. Nobody is stopping him as the defensive fire is coming from his team. He's not able to get that cap off, though. Looks like the smoke might have pulled him back here. As now two attackers are tablet out on objective, trying to get this cap. Just one defensive spray into that smoke would be able to get two pickups, but Unai's just too late.
Wow. Okay. What a round. How long was that cap? I mean, that nearly went the other way.
Yeah, it did. That was very, very close. You know, the smoke does obscure your vision a bit, even when you're capping looking down, which is possible, by the way. You can cap in the smoke, but it's still not easy. But KOVRA nearly able to bring it back. But man, they had the picks. They had the opportunity to just pull back on the objective and use their numerical superiority. Yeah, I can say words. Superiority. Nope, no, I can't say words. They could use this opportunity, those picks that they gained, to really just tie down that defense. But by staying in their far positions, and not rotating back to objective really was their downfall on that one.
Yeah, really, Unai got 2 picks and just didn't leave, didn't have, you know, they lacked a little bit of that team coverage awareness there. I think if Unai had repositioned towards that Hesco line, right, after getting that second pick, it would have been fantastic. I don't know if they knew that there was how strong of a presence was coming in from the west, but I think that could have went very differently if that happened. Bronx guy did rotate, you know, he rotated in when the smokes came out. I think the rotation needed to happen about 20-30 seconds before the smokes came out.
I would have to agree with you there. I do like to see that rotation from Bronx. You know, doing his best in a bad situation to try and bring it back, just running straight through the open. But that's kind of what you have to do when you think that the, you know, enemy team is on the objective. You have no coverage. You're the only one possibly going to be able to stop that. In those opportunities, though, you know, a flash grenade wouldn't go amiss. Just throwing that on the objective, try and buy some time for the rest of your team to push forward and get back and be relevant towards that objective. You know, Unai did his best as well, but again, the rotation was just a little bit on the slow side. And you know, sometimes it happens. You think that your team has better coverage of the objective, or someone that you thought was alive, it's dead. It does happen, but it's a learning experience.
Yeah, definitely KOVRA have some cap prevent to work on, but great play from Ronin as well to identify, you know, a hole they created, push in, get the cap, despite it taking quite a bit. But hey, the average is still pretty good today with Kogeru's 1.52 second cap there, so still good for the average. 4 caps today, I mean, it's okay, one of them was long, not a problem.
Some fire already from the likes of Chevy, putting rounds down range towards these attackers who are just scrambling to get into cover. And it's going to be tough as their spawn has been identified. Those flanks from the Ronin are possible now, as they know that the kind of avenues are open for them to push forward and maybe stop any rotation coming from the southwest, or going towards the southwest from these attackers. Which is honestly the critical line, in my opinion. Getting control of the south is just so key for the attackers. Kugaro, though, trying desperately to stop that flank from Bronx guy, but coming out ahead as well. Good pickup from him. What an explosive start. Normally don't see that on this objective.
Yeah, I think both the spawn being known and having your spawn known turned it into a across the map gunfight.
Unai putting some rounds down range, cluing in Black to his position, just narrowly getting his missing, getting his head taken off by Black, who is just scissoring over his position with his laser that we only can see. But now Unai just moving into position there and not able to react quick enough on the Black. And another attacker will go down.
Yeah, and Black is going to push his advantage here and take a little bit of a more aggressive position, even more aggressive than what we saw KOVRA number 3 last time, but gets spotted by Jason in the lake.
Jason might have had the first shots, but now that he didn't get Black, and Black knows where he is, he's not in a great position. This is not a place you want to find yourself, being in the middle of the lake as shots come down. Number 3 getting a pickup and now moving back. Maybe just go back to support his teammate on the lake, knowing that getting out of there will be tough, and that the defenders have somebody who is alone and kind of exposed, but Black making it work, able to get that pickup onto number 3. Now it's just up to Jason, still stuck behind the same rock, you know, between a rock and a hard place, as it were.
Yep, he's definitely between a rock and a hard place here.
Looks like he's going to try and throw some smoke and move. Black repositioning, not in a place to get that shot onto Jason's movement, but quickly will be if he continues to crest this hill here. And Jason looks like he's kind of clued on to that possible play, watching that hill like a hawk.
Black is going to crest over this ridge. Who's going to spot who first? That's what it's going to come down to. Jason's ready, but Black has surprised you.
Oh man, that trade to end it. What a way to go.
Jason did his best, but great dominant play from Black there. I think he got 3, if not 4 pickups by kind of moving and killing and moving and killing. Just great work in the hangar defense there.
Definitely true. There's been I think game has been a lot of really aggressive defensive rotations and flanks, some good moves as well from the attackers too. It's honestly been a crazy game.
Yeah, it has. And yeah, KOVRA, you know, pulled out some really good plays. I think we saw some really good plays from them. Ronan with the fantastic caps. I believe we had 4 for the day. Could have even been 1 more, I think. But KOVRA, you know, still put up a fight. Excited to see these teams continue to duke it out this season. And, I mean, maybe we'll even have a growing, you know, Asia League. I know we have, I think, 2, if not 3 teams.
Definitely.
Could potentially grow into a 6 to 18 division in the near future. So, exciting things to look for there, too.
I think it's, you know, an untapped market, as it were. We just got to show them what VR is capable of, what Onward is capable of, and get those players to try it out and get hooked all the same like we have. A fantastic series between these two teams, and I think a bit closer than the scores show, because I mean, what really I think held KOVRA back more than anything was just a little bit of a weak defense once you know, players started dying. Not enough rotations to defend the objective, which is kind of the key point there. If you're able to defend that or attack it, you will win. And if they were able to stop those push, even die, they would have another round to work with. And when they actually just went toe-to-toe, tit-for-tat with Ronan, it really was anyone's game. Very strong shooters on both sides, strong tactics as well, and some really, really good opportunities as well that just didn't go their way. Definitely saw some really, you know, excellent play all in all. And you can tell that both of these teams have been putting it in their all and really practicing, and I think hitting above what you know, a typical bronze team would. I think that, you know, both of these teams will be pushing up, going into the silver tier before long, and it'll be really exciting to see them continue to play their games. And that's what's awesome about the VRML as well, is it's not just the master games. It's not just, you know, master, diamond, gold that are interesting. You see really good gameplay even in bronze and silver. So they're all worth watching and just keeping an eye on, because you might see the next meteoric team that continues to rise and come up and really throw people through a loop.
For sure. Excited to see the development of these teams. And yeah, I think last thing I want to say is we do have some great matchups left this weekend. I think we have 2 venues games tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. So
You are
a lot more
correct,
Onward action to watch.
Yeah, we got Boss Fight versus Silent Purge. And I forget what the other one is, but it was Aero 404 and Raptors, isn't it?
That's correct, yep.
Yeah, those are 2 really awesome games to keep an eye on. Some really awesome casters as well that are going to be showing you that excellent action coming up. So do come in and tune in tomorrow for those. Should be very, very exciting, and also really cool to see an EU game really highlighted, as we don't get to see as many of those as we'd like to see. Some really, really good teams and players over there. Really fun to see the way they play Onward and make it their own. So do tune in tomorrow. But this has been Ronin versus KOVRA, brought to you by myself, Monorchid, and Etch. Sorry, sorry, had to cough there. We'd like to thank the VR Master League for providing this format for the teams, our moderators, and the sponsors. And thanks to you guys, the viewers, new and old. Thanks for tuning in and spending your time with us. We'll see you next time, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow in those casts. Have a good evening, everyone.